Vybz Kartel final appeal on everything we know. People, if you're a drinker, get your glass. If you're a smoker, get your ashtray. If you're a foodie, get your popcorn. Right now, we're jumping it right away.
From very early on Thursday, March 13, 2014, the police instituted pedestrian and vehicular restrictions in downtown Kingston as hundreds of Vybz Kartel's fans gathered for a verdict. After 65 days of trial, delayed starts, 24 prosecution witnesses, and 6 for the defense, Justice Lennox Campbell turned over the matter to the 11-member jury at 3:45 p.m. Outside the courtroom, there was tension, and in Kartel's hometown too, in the Waterford community of Portmore they call Gaza City.
Yeah, sir, you used to live. Yeah, it's a Kartel used to live. Right, that's it. Please clear the road.
After 1 hour and 53 minutes, the jurors returned with a 10-1 verdict. With the verdict coming under 2 hours and divided at the same time, the judge sent them back to reconsider. Minutes later, they would re-emerge, again with a 10-1 verdict. Adidja Palmer, guilty. Sean Campbell, guilty. Kyra Jones, guilty. And Andre St. John, guilty. The fifth co-accused, Shane Williams, was found not guilty. Media scuffle out of the way. Williams' lawyer, Everton Dewar, said he was happy for his client.
Can you say on what basis you're going to make your appeal?
The lawyers who are going to deal with that, including myself, will have to look back through the transcripts and arrive at a process. As it stands here now, let me just indicate, and all who have ears here, the jury has given a verdict and we accept it and move to the next process.
The prosecutors have to make sure that in their conduct, it is not that we are striving for a winning situation. We strive to put up the best evidence that is available. There are persons in the system, in the police force, in the prosecuting service, in the judiciary, court staff who have integrity and who are committed to public service above self.
In the meantime, one of the jurors was immediately taken into police custody for attempting to pervert the course of justice. He is alleged to have approached another juror to enter a not guilty verdict.
Okay, with all that being said now, I guess you remember all that had taken place because it's been a while. 2014, 10 years ago. 10 years later, Vybz Kartel and co-accused still fighting the case. Isaac Buchanan, the attorney who represents King of the Dancehall Vybz Kartel, told Dancehall Mag on Sunday that he is eager to argue the Fever DJ's final appeal at the UK's Judicial Committee of the Privy Council on Wednesday and Thursday, February the 14th and 15th, 2024. In March 2014, Kartel, real name Adidja Palmer, My Life artist Sean Storm Campbell, and 2 associates, Kyra Jones and Andre St. John's, were all found guilty of killing Clive Lizard Williams, who, according to prosecutors, had disappeared after failing to return 2 unlicensed firearms to Kartel. His body was never found. After their conviction was largely upheld by the Jamaica Court of Appeal in April 2020, the 4 men moved to the Privy Council, the final court of appeal for some Commonwealth nations, including Jamaica, seeking to overturn their life sentence that ranged from 22 to 32 years before parole. They allege, among other things, that crucial cell phone evidence was improperly obtained and that the trial itself, which lasted 64 days in the Kingston Home Circuit Court, was compromised. The Privy Council has assigned a panel of 5 judges, Lord Reid, Lord Lloyd Jones, Lord Briggs, Lord Burrows, and Lady Simler, who will hear argument from both sides on key issues in the case. They will then issue a ruling in due course, typically a few months. According to Buchanan and court records independently obtained by Dancehall Mag, the key issues to be decided in Kartel's final appeal are: Should the trial judge have excluded the telecommunication evidence relied on by the prosecution? And how should the judge have handled the allegation that there were attempts to bribe members of the jury during the trial? Should the jury or the particular juror said to have offered the bribe have been discharged? And was the judge wrong to invite the jury to reach a verdict late in the day, given the special circumstances of the case? Many regard Buchanan as the ideal candidate to take the World Boss case to the UK, as not only was he once a musician himself, but he is also a big fan of the Live Suite DJ. Asked if he was optimistic about the chance of winning, he responded, "I believe in the Jamaican Constitution. It is the last instrument in existence that restores humanity in Jamaica." The central argument in the case questions the validity of cell phone and other telecommunication evidence presented by the prosecution. Police had seized a total of 10 cell phones, including 4 belonging to Kartel, when the artist and his co-appellants were arrested on September the 30th, 2011. In particular, one of the phones, a BlackBerry Torch belonging to Kartel, its SIM card and SD card allegedly contained evidence that linked him to Williams' murder. A Privy Council summary of the case states, the prosecution relied heavily on evidence derived from these phones, which was taken from a copy of a CD-ROM provided by Digicel, a telecommunication provider in Jamaica, in response to a police request. At the trial, the appellant challenged the admissibility of this telecommunication evidence. They argued that the police requests to Digicel and Digicel's provision of data to the police were carried out in breach of the Interception of Communications Act. It continued. Further, the evidence had been obtained in breach of the fundamental rights to the protection of privacy of communication guaranteed by the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms contained in the Jamaican Constitution. However, the trial judge ruled that the telecommunications evidence was admissible. And there was another significant concern pertaining to the attempted jury tampering. During the trial, the judge, Justice Lennox Campbell, became aware of an allegation that a juror had attempted to bribe the jury forewoman by offering 500,000 Jamaican dollars for her to influence other jurors to return a not guilty verdict. The offer was also allegedly made to some other jurors. After investigating the allegations and considering it with counsel for both the prosecution and the defense, the judge decided that the trial should proceed. He did not discharge a jury or the particular juror said to have offered the bribe, the Privy Council records reveal. In March 2023, the particular juror, a man named Livingston Kane, was sentenced to 12 months in prison at Hard Label on charge of attempting to pervert the course of justice in Kartel's case. At the time, his attorney Valerie Nita Robertson, KC, told Dancehall Mag that he would be appealing the conviction. Kartel and his co-appellants are also questioning Justice Campbell's decision to send the jury for a verdict late on in the day, potentially pressuring them to arrive at a decision. The judge finished his summing up at 3:42 p.m. on the 13th of March 2014. The jury returned at 5:35 p.m. When the forewoman told the court that the jury had not reached a unanimous verdict, the court records noted. The judge sent the jury out again at 6:08 p.m. The jury returned and by a majority of 10-1 convicted the appellant of the murder of Mr. Williams. Vybz Kartel and his co-appellants had also sought to introduce 2 additional grounds of appeal, including the introduction of fresh evidence that Kartel's cell phone had shown signs of tampering while in police custody. In February 2023, the Privy Council denied the 2 applications. In July 2023, Bert Samuels, the attorney for Sean Storm, had announced that the UK court had set tentative dates of April 16 through 18 in 2024 to hear the main argument in the quartet's appeal. However, Kartel's battle with Graves' disease led to an expedited date for the appeal. His condition is being managed as best as possible in the circumstances currently. Proper treatment, however, is needed, Buchanan said. In addition to the cell phone evidence, Prosecutors had relied on the sole eyewitness, Lamar Wee Chow, who made an account of the event that took place at the Fever DJ's house in Avondale, St. Andrew on August 16, 2011. Wee testified on that day he had accompanied Sean Storm and Williams to Kartel's home, where they had been summoned over missing firearms, which were referred to in cell phone messages as shoes. Wee said Kartel, Andre St. John and Kyra Jones were already at the house when they arrived.
They don't know what's a blood clot lizard and we. I will call my phone today and tell me, say, them can't find the two blood clot new shoes them want me give them, dog. Say them lock them in our house. Side of all feet where I build up, dog, you know.
My Dan, I'm done tell you all the things that are ready, you know, from them time there, you know. I say, I deal with, because I reason about this one day, you know. I'm done tell you the thing is, from the thing them get missing up, but I hesitate not even for a second or a minute, you know. You see, I give them 8 o'clock, anytime after 8 and your thing not come in, it doesn't bother say nothing else or getting blood. It just show a man there, because some joke blood clot things a man depending on. Big joke thing, you know. You see, I deal with. Show a man. Show a man blood.
According to Chow, while Kartel was questioning them about the guns, Jones held Williams from behind while Chow immediately ran into another room. He added that Kartel and Storm forcibly brought him back to the room where he saw Lizard lying motionless on his back, with Jones bending over him and St. John's holding a concrete block in his hand. Chow claimed that he feared for his safety, so he fled again, this time running from the house by climbing over a gate. He testified that he was chased by Kartel, who later assured him that he had nothing to worry about. However, instead of returning to the house, Chow said he accompanied Kartel to a hospital where Kartel was treated for a dog bite he had received during the chase. Kartel's defense had questioned Chow's credibility during the original trial and cited his inconsistent account of the event, including a proposed letter by Chow to a public defender which stated that he saw Lizard after August 16, 2011, and that the police had pressured him to give a conflicting statement. Gaza Slim, now Vanessa Bling, known for her ride or die anthem Anything or Anything, and one man with Kartel, was also caught up in the case after she filed a police report claiming that Williams had robbed her after the date of his death. Bling was charged with attempting to pervert the course of justice. She spent a brief time in jail and years on bail before the charge was dropped in 2014. In April 2014, Kartel was initially given 35 years before being eligible for parole. It was, however, reduced to 32 years and 6 months following a Jamaica Court of Appeal ruling in 2020. St. John, who had to serve 30 years before being eligible for parole, had his time shaved down to 27 years and 6 months. Sean Storm and Jones, who had to serve 25 years before being eligible, had theirs reduced to 22 years and 6 months. Alright people, more want to know be bold and go in the comment section and tell me what you think. If Kartel a come road, him and him co-appellants, or if them not come road. And you can give your reasons too, if you feel like. Alright? Well, me for certain, I feel like him a come road. And my reasons, I think him a come road on the basis are because of the telecommunication, the provision of the data without the proper authorization, as a Russian would have said. That's my reason. So you can just tell me in the comment section what you think. Tell me if my reason wrong too. And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. MSC TV, round here we talk facts. No fiction.
I am of the Jamaican descent, so I have to come back and honor how I was raised, the cultural significance that made Busta Rhymes, and at the end of the day, just want to support the family of Kartel and just support everything that is right. You know what I'm saying? Everything that is about just righteousness and prosperity and peacefulness and that we all have to do. Just support the people. Marcus Garvey, support just all of the powerful positive movements. That's what I am here to do. Just and enjoy myself. That is it.
If you can't say anything to Kartel, what would you say? Sunday you get the West.
I'm not saying nothing else until the verdict read. That is it. That is it. I am just here to support the good energy and the love and the strength of what is right. And remember,
I may say a Pancho Khalifa. I may rep MSC TV. Run us up with facts, no fiction. You see, pre? Yeah.